Good morning, everybody. I'm Diane DeStefano, and this is Brittany McEntee, and we're here from the New York State Office for People with Developmental Disabilities. And we're going to be speaking to you about some opportunities. These are New York State positions. We love sharing this opportunity. Great career ladder, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. And anything to open up?
Yes, so the one position that we want to let you know about is our direct support assistant trainee position. This is a position that you work right in our group homes with our developmentally disabled individuals. In most of our homes, they have 4 to 11 individuals of varying degrees. What's great about a traineeship is that even if you've never worked with that population before, they teach you absolutely everything. So it's really great. And if you have experience, that's great too. But it's nice to know that you can have an entry-level position with the state of New York and not have to worry too much about any background experience.
So some of the tasks that we look for. So let's talk about minimum qualifications first. As Brittany said, direct support assistant trainee is the name of the position that we're going to be speaking about, one that we're going to be speaking about today. These, the duties are similar to, you may be more familiar with CNAs, personal care aides, or CNAs, certified nursing assistants. These are the kind of duties that you would perform in the direct support assistant trainee role. So we actually cover 17 counties in our recruitment efforts. So we have a very large geographical area that we cover. And we have homes throughout our 17 counties. Actually, obviously state job, but we recruit for the 17 counties. So we have group homes right here in this county, as well as all counties through the western counties as well. So direct support assistant trainees work right in the group homes, as Brittany said. Minimum qualifications to take our civil service exam, which we'll speak about, is high school diploma, GED, TASC, or the high school equivalent, along with a valid New York State driver's license. But in addition to those requirements, it really is the personality. It has to be the passion to care for our population, the developmentally disabled population. We hear very often, most often, people love this job because it is a very impactful job. It's a job where at the end of the day, you know you've made a difference in multiple people's lives in helping them achieve their goals and live richer lives. So you may be asking yourself, what are some of the things I would be doing in a job like this? Well, actually there are multiple facets to this job. There are the housekeeping types of things like light housework, cooking, cleaning, and then there's the personal care of our developmentally disabled individuals, feeding, toileting, bathing, interacting with them, finding out what their goals are and helping them achieve whatever those goals are, and those are always outlined in a plan for each individual that we serve. Also, doing things like taking them on fun community outings. The way it works is, our individuals, you are basically a guest in their home, so we want to make sure that they are achieving whatever they want to do. So let's say they want to go to the movies, or they want to learn how to grocery shop, or go grocery shopping, or a concert, or something fun that's happening in the town. The outings are opportunity for our staff to do that with these individuals. So let's say they want to go to a concert or they want to go to a movie, and you're assigned to be with that individual that day. We actually pay your way to do that fun outing with them. So that's a very neat aspect of the job, as well as accompany them to medical appointments they may have, sit in, get the information from the doctor, make sure that information gets conveyed to the rest of the team who's helping to care for them, and documenting in the record that we have for the individuals, learning how to do their medications. We have homes that are medical homes, and we also have homes that are just our standard homes. So for our standard homes, our direct support assistant trainees are actually trained to do certain medications. So, but the whole first year, as Brittany said, is a traineeship. So you get paid to learn the job, which is fantastic. You want to tell them about the starting pay?
Yeah, so the starting pay for your first year is $15.85 an hour, and that's for the traineeship. The traineeship is usually 12 to 15 months. Most people finish in the 12. And then you automatically get bumped up to $17.68 an hour, or $36,772 for salary, which is really great. And there's also overtime as well. So there are times our homes are 24 hours. So if someone calls in, someone might need to stay, someone might have to come in early to help cover that shift. So you will get overtime, sometimes you do get mandated to stay as well, it's just the needs of the business, but that's all paid at time and a half, so you do get extra pay for doing those things.
Yeah, and in addition to the great pay, which I think the starting pay for this job is incredible, as we said, they're New York State positions, and if you know anything about New York State, their benefits are absolutely incredible. So we have outstanding health care, and we have a variety of health care plans. I'm sure you're familiar with many of them: Independent Health, Community Blue. We also have one called Empire, which is the state insurance, and there's multiple others. So you can take a look at all of those plans, and you know what you or your family's health care needs, and based on that you can choose a plan, and they are very reasonably priced. And then every year, a really neat aspect is every year you have the option during what they call open season of choosing a different health insurance. So let's say your needs change. Let's say now you have a child, or you're pregnant, or someone is diagnosed with something that needs some kind of follow-up, and you say, well, this insurance plan covers my needs better now. Every year you have the option of changing, which really is an incredible benefit. So that's our health insurance piece of it. In addition, there's also benefits such as vision and dental, and those are union benefits, CSEA union benefits, and if you opt to be in the union, you are entitled to those benefits. So vision and dental are very rare benefits that are available through employers, so we're very proud to offer that to our employees as well. As if that wasn't enough, we also have incredible retirement options. So the state of New York has 2 programs that run. If you work for New York State for 10 years, which everyone that I am seeing this morning, they're very young, so you can come and work for New York State, and if you devote 10 years to New York State, if you join the retirement system, you are entitled to a pension when you get to be retirement age. So that being said, 10 years is the minimum, but the longer you work for New York State, obviously the more years you would have in our pension system, and when you finally retire, the more your pension would be. So what I always say is, and I'm a prime example because I have worked for New York State my entire career, come and join New York State because you can't even imagine what the opportunities are. I'm a classic example. I don't mind using myself as that example. I started out as a grade 5 secretary, and I have moved up, and I'm one of the highest positions of HR right now, and that was over a multiple decade span. So I have a lot of years in with New York State, and I know that when I am ready to retire, I'll be well taken care of. So you can jump around, you can go to different jobs, and obviously that's everybody's prerogative. But when you look at New York State, we are one agency, as we said, the New York State Office for People with Developmental Disabilities. So think of New York State as a big umbrella. We are one agency, but there's also the Office of Mental Health, there's corrections, there's the lottery, there are colleges. I mean, there's just multiple things that come under the umbrella of New York State. So if you come and work for New York State, even if you change agencies, you are still building on the same retirement system. But I worked for 34 years for the Office of Mental Health. I'm very new to this agency. But all those years that I worked at another agency, they all come with me, all the time that I spent. So that's something that I always like to impress upon people, because the entire state is your employer when you work for New York State, which is an incredible opportunity. Your benefits go with you. As I said, we have 2 savings programs. We have the pension, which 10 years minimum we spoke about. There's also a deferred comp program. So I can't stress, I have children, and I can't stress, the minute you start working is the minute you should start saving to retire, right? So this gives you 2 opportunities to do that, because time goes quickly. Let me tell you, time goes very quickly. So we talked about the benefits, we talked about the retirement. You want to talk a little bit about the career plan opportunities?
That moves us right into, so when you become a DSAT, after your first year, you lose your T's, what we call it, so you become a direct support assistant, but that doesn't have to be. Some people remain DSAs for 20 plus years and they absolutely love it. Other people decide that, I think I want to do a supervisory role. So there's actually 3 levels above a DSA. So you can be a DA1, a DA2, and a DA3. And a DA3 is actually, so you start out when you're a trainee, you're a grade 7. So that is about just under $33,000 a year. You can go up to a grade 17, so that's a DA3 is a grade 17. and they're making just over $57,000 a year. So there's definitely growth within OPWDD, as well as there are tuition benefits through the CSA union. So if it's something where, hey, you know, I think maybe I want to go back to school, you can do that as well. And then who knows what opportunities might open up for you in OPWDD or in a different agency within the state. So there's a lot of different opportunities where you can look at yourself, look at maybe, you know, help with management supervisors, and they can kind of help you explore. You know, you might start as a DSA, but who knows in 20, 30 years where you're going to be in the state.
And I don't think you can predict it. I mean, I never would have thought that I was very happy being a secretary. It was a great job, and you know, life leads you down different paths, different things, right? I went back to nursing school with tuition reimbursement program. I went back and got my bachelor's with the tuition reimbursement system. I would have never known any of that when I was 18 years old, and I had no idea, right? So we never know. And so I feel like state employment is an excellent opportunity to keep all of your options open, because none of us know where we're going to be or what's going to happen, especially when you're as young as all of you are. So that is another great advantage, is just, it's really endless. One of the things that she talked about, the career development, you may ask, well, how does this whole process get started? It all starts with a 45-question multiple choice test. And it's all based on, there's 4 categories of that testing, but it's all based on taking care of people and situational things. If this happens, what would be the best thing for you to do? Those types of questions. So that is your civil service entry to get into New York State, right? Because you're going to take a civil service test and you're going to get a score. And then based on our needs in the counties that you tell us you're willing to work in, that determines our ability to be able to place you. Okay, so let's say that happens and you get in the system. So now what Brittany was talking about is after the traineeship, after the 1 year and you drop your T, then you have to wait another period of time, and then you can then bid on these other jobs like the DA1, DA2, DA3. But the really neat thing about this is these are, as we said, high school diploma or equivalent, and the driver's license. Those are your qualifications to come in. You take our test, then you can advance through the New York State system without further education or without further testing. So you can go very far in New York State initially with the minimum qualifications, which I think are very fair qualifications. Now, in addition to the testing, we'll talk a little bit about the 3 phases of being able to get hired for New York State. So it starts with the 45-question multiple choice test, and then the next piece is...
But I just want to say too, we actually grade the day that you take the
right.
exam.
That's a good point.
Which is super nice, because that saves you a lot of time. So that's step 1, you take the exam and you pass. Step 2, you take what's called an MMPI. It's a psychological test. It's like a paper and pen test. So you take that, and then that information actually gets sent down to Albany. And then step 3 is a physical portion. So you actually meet with a physician that the state pays for.
Mm-hmm.
You meet with them, they give you okay, you take what's called an ability test. And that's just very simple. There's 9 things you have to do. It usually takes about 10 minutes. Step test, you have to drag a dummy across the floor, you have to show that you can do CPR, so we know that because our individuals need so many different things, that you're able physically to do the job as well. Just those 3 things.
Right. So we teach you the CPR. So part of the ability is just showing that you can maintain being on, kneeling for 3 minutes, which is what you'll need to do when we teach you the CPR. So it's basically, as we said, just taking the test, passing the psychological test, which is a true-false test, and then taking our physical and doing our ability testing. Also, we should point out that the civil service test itself is free, and many of them aren't. So that's another great thing that we offer here, is a free civil service test. So that also is wonderful. So a little bit about the environment you'd be working in. Why don't we talk about that? We said that they're group homes. At one time, individuals with developmental disabilities the state had them in large areas of land with little homes. That's kind of how they assisted people back then. Those were the housing arrangements. It was decided that wasn't in in the population's best interest. So the state then purchased homes in communities, state group homes. In fact, some of you may even know of group homes. You know that they happen to be group homes in your neighborhoods. So we have these group homes that are embedded in everybody's neighborhoods. So now that we have those group homes, we have to staff them 24/7. So that's where you'd be working, right in typical neighborhoods, probably very close to where you live. We certainly have group homes in this county, and we service them 24/7. So that would be the environment, a very home-like environment. We actually visit the homes quite often, and so they're very lovely homes, and many of our individuals, as she said, they have varying degrees of needs. Some people just need a little bit of help getting up in the morning, breakfast, getting them up into their own job. Some of our individuals go to day habs where they attend classes during the day, and some of the individuals stay in the homes and stay with our staff who are there. So that's a little bit about the environment that you'd be working in. The homes are lovely. We're always very impressed. They always have these really nice, large, workable kitchens, and so they are very nice homes. And it is, if you're looking into the direct care field, it is a much different field than a nursing home or a hospital where you have that sterile type of institutional more feeling. This is a very home-like setting. And as we said, you'd be going out in the community, grocery shopping, doing things in the yard, and going on fun events with the individuals. So that is kind of a nice feel. It's a nice environment to work, and we know a lot of our staff really like that. In fact, sometimes when we visit, or sometimes I do little surveys, drop-ins to see how things are going. There's music playing, they have the individuals will be listening to music or dancing. Or helping with cooking in the kitchen. So it's a nice environment to work in, and it's a wonderful environment for our individuals.
And typically the individuals that you're with, if you're with us for years and years, you're most likely going to be with the same people. Much like a nursing home, you might have this constant flow of people. The homes that we have, typically those individuals will stay there for a very long time, so you really get to know them and kind of become their family in a sense.
So if that's the atmosphere you're looking for, and if you want to make a difference in people's lives and have a true impact, I know a lot of people are looking for a job that has purpose, not just a job where you clock in and clock out. A lot of people are really looking for that, how can I make a difference? This is absolutely the atmosphere. We would love to have you. We welcome you. We have applications for you to come and take our exam. It's a simple one-page application. It takes a minute or less to fill out our application. So then what happens is we would then send you in the U.S. Postal Mail an admission notice that tells you when, where, what time the test is, and what you need to bring with you. And then you come and take our test with us, and then that's the first step, would be checked off the list of the 3. So it's a very simple process, and we help you through it every step of the way. Has anyone here ever considered a career in direct care? Anybody ever thought about that? So some of what we encounter when we do a job fair is we see people coming to us who maybe their manufacturing company has closed, or it's just a shifting time for a lot of agencies or corporations, and we find people who have never entertained the thought of direct care before, who are now looking at, well, this is the 3rd place that I've worked at that has closed, or they don't like the way things are handled at a current employer, and they're looking for something completely different, and maybe they haven't entertained the thought of our industry of direct care. And then once they hear about us and they hear about the impact and the purposefulness, people are attracted to it. And then I'll talk to people after they come in the system, and they'll say, I never thought about this. I'm so glad I gave it a try, because it really has given me the purpose that I've been looking for. So it's a rewarding opportunity for us to share with people, because not only do we change the lives of our individuals by having great people come in, but we also change the life of many people who come into the state and find what a rewarding